Hola, hola chicos. ¿Cómo están? Espero que todos estén bien. Esta semana vamos a aprender más pretérito irregular. El pretérito irregular, irregular preterite. So we're moving on to a couple more verbs in the past tense. And I call these los cinco fabulosos, the Fab Five. And lucky for us, we already learned 2 out of the 5. So the first one you already know in the preterite is ir, to go, which was fui, fuiste, fue, and so on. Número 2 is ser, to be, which is also fui, fuiste, fue, and so on. So you already have 2 under your belt. And we have 3 new verbs. Hacer, to do or make, which you know in the present, but we're going to talk about it in the past. Cuatro is dar, to give, and ver, to see. So these are irregular in the preterite. So we're going to focus on those this week. Like I said, you already learned the conjugations for er and ser. Do you remember them? Think about them. And check them if you're right. Fui, fuiste, fue, fuimos, fuisteis, fueron. Ejemplos. Yo fui a un parque. I went to a park. Marcos fue al cine. Marcos went to the movie theater. El viaje fue muy divertido. The trip was very fun. So you already know this one, I think, pretty well. You use them a lot in your presentations. So those are really, really good. So let's focus on the 3 that we haven't learned. The first one is hacer, to do or make. Now it's irregular in the preterite because it doesn't follow those endings when we talked about regular preterite verbs, that first lesson. So these are hice, I did or made. Hiciste, you did or made. Hizo, she or he or you formal did or made. Notice that Z is there. That's why I highlighted it. Hizo is unique. It's not like the other 2. Hicimos, hicisteis, hicieron. Also notice the H is silent. So hice, hiciste, hizo, hicimos, hicisteis, hicieron. Now dar and ver have the same exact conjugations, which is great, as each other, but you just change the D to a V in the beginning of the conjugation. So for dar, to give, in the past tense would be gave. So di, I gave. Diste, you gave. Dio, he or she or you formal gave. Dimos, disteis, you all gave. Dieron. So you'll see there's a pattern. There's no accent marks, which is great. And it follows that pattern in the same exact way for the verb ver, to see. So you'll notice that you just change that first letter. So D changes to V. Viste, vio, vimos, visteis, vieron. So muy fácil. You can kind of compare the 2 and memorize them, and it should be no problem. And this is the preterite, the past tense of saw. So see is saw, and then give is gave. Muy bien, so vamos a practicar. Let's practice. Conjugate the verbs using what you've learned in this lesson. Make sure you wrote down the chart somewhere so you have them to reference when you're doing the work this week. So try these. 1. Yo blank una película de Disney anoche. 2. Ella hacer su tarea hace 2 días. 3. Nosotros le dar dinero a nuestro amigo. This le here you can ignore for right now, but you need it when you have a recipient of something. So this is saying we gave money to our friend, and the le is just like we gave him the money. 4. Blank, ir tú al parque el sábado pasado? 5. Yo hacer galletas de chocolate con mi mamá. Y 6. El viaje blank muy aburrido para mí. So take a minute to pause and conjugate these, write these down. And on the next slide, we'll have the answers. Yo vi una película de Disney anoche. Ella hizo su tarea hace 2 días. Nosotros le dimos dinero a nuestro amigo. ¿Fuiste tú al parque el sábado pasado? Yo hice galletas de chocolate con mi mamá. El viaje fue muy aburrido para mí. So just to point out some important pieces, these words that I incorporated in some of the sentences are really important trigger words for the preterite. They help us know that it's past tense. So a word like anoche means last night. The phrase hace 2 días means 2 days ago. El sábado pasado means last Saturday or past Saturday. So these are phrases in the past that help us know, oh, okay, it's past tense, including the verb. All right. So that's all I have for the lesson for today. We'll be doing a story this week with the past tense, and hopefully that will help reinforce these verb conjugations. Adios. Gracias.